today we're going to be making udon noodles or yakisoba. So they're fried udon noodles. Udon noodles are these, so they're a wheat noodle, just a plain white flour noodle. And these are kind of sort of ready to wok noodles. And I've just soaked them in boiling hot water for 2 minutes and they're kind of ready to go. So I'm just going to pour those through there. Don't mess around with them too much because they break up if you mess around with them. So leave them as they are and it'll all come together. Next, I'm going to make the yakisoba sauce, or the marinade that's going to go into the noodle dish. And it's half a tablespoon of dark soya sauce. I'm just going to guess it. I'm allowed. Half a tablespoon of light soya sauce. I'm just using Chinese, but anything will do. And half a tablespoon of oyster sauce. Again, if you haven't got oyster sauce, use hoisin sauce. Maybe that's a generous one, that's fine. And then I'm going to use a tablespoon of sake. If you haven't got sake, you can use sherry, you can use white wine, or don't use anything, it's optional. So a tablespoon of that. It's quite sweet. And I've got some mirin, or some sushi vinegar, some mirin. And we're going to use tablespoon of that too. And then a tablespoon of honey. So we're going to get sweetened up now. Tablespoon of honey. And also a tablespoon of caster sugar, or you could use light brown sugar. And then just a little bit of sesame oil. With the sesame oil, very rich, don't use a lot of it. So that's all that. And then you can put some chilli flakes in there if you want to, or I'm just going to put a little bit of chilli in there, just to pep it up a little bit. So that's it. That's all it is. So hopefully, store cupboard ingredients. If you haven't got dark soy sauce or light soy sauce, just use whatever soy sauce you've got. You can use tamari instead. Whatever you've got. I'm just going to give that a little bit of a stir, just to make sure that all that sugar evaporates and melts into that sauce. That's it. It's quite sweet sauce as well, obviously, but that's a good thing. The next thing we're going to do is just get some vegetables ready to put in it. So I'm just going to use some spinach because I've got it. You could use some Chinese cabbage. You can use some pak choy. I'm going to use some spring onions. Just chop, chop, chop. Get that out of the way. And just chop that at an angle. Keep those separate. And carrots, I'm just going to cut into shreds. But again, it's up to you what you put in it. It's your dish. Do what you fancy. And bearing in mind, I'm doing this super quick. I'm not taking my time. You can take your time. So I've got carrot, spinach, spring onion, and just some onion. I'm just going to use a red onion just because I've got it left over. And that's it. And I'm also going to put some prawns in it as well. Now, I've already prepared these prawns. I've just got 2 prawns that I can show you how to do these. And you're just going to cut down with your knife, about halfway down the thick end, coming down to sort of nothing at the tail end. And then sometimes the vein is at the top, but sometimes it's at the bottom as well. So I'm just going to pull that out with my finger. You can leave it in if you want to. But then when people call it poo sacks, you're kind of tempted to pull it out, aren't you? So thick end down to nothing at the tail end, and that just gives it a butterfly shape. So these are butterfly prawns. Pull out the feeding sack and job done. They're prepared. So I'm just going to wash my hands. A little bit of water I've got over there. So I've got my noodles ready. We've got our wok hot. We will have our wok hot. We're going to use cold pressed rapeseed oil because again it's got that lovely nutty flavour, and we've got all our ingredients ready to go. Marinade, sauce, noodles, everything. So wok hot. Once the wok is hot, oil in all around the outside. Nice and hot, and then we want to fry our onions. So we've got 2 lots of onions. We can put it all in there at the same time. Just give that a minute, just to bring all those flavours together. And then I'm just going to put those to the side and put my prawns in. So if I was doing raw chicken or raw meat, I put it in at this stage. So just get those in there. So each one is touching the bottom. And you can see they'll be ready as soon as they're pink. Once they start to cook, I'm going to flick them over. I don't want to overcook them, and they're not going to take long to cook, so I can start getting everything else in there, and the residual heat will just carry on cooking them. Now you can see they're butterflied now, look, lovely, opened up, look lovely. So that's that. The carrot is quite hard, so it's a good idea to put any hard vegetables in there. That's why we tried to cut them nice and small. So get all that going together. And then our spinach doesn't take long. I could break it up, but it's just baby spinach, so I'll just leave that in there like that, and the residual heat will cook that up nicely, wilt it all down and put it in there. I've just done that as a little bit of an extra because I've got it in the fridge, but as I say, Chinese cabbage, pak choy, bak choy, whatever you fancy, or nothing. Courgettes, peppers. Just remember to put the hardest vegetables in there first and then work your way through, but always starting with your onions. So as you can see, that's already wilted, so I'm just going to put my noodles in there, and then I'm going to put all my lovely sauce mix. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Now, this is when I want all those, it's all gone quiet, isn't it? It makes a difference, doesn't it, when it stops going quiet. And then I'm just going to let that bubble up nicely. Hopefully the heat will come back up again. It's induction. And then you can see the noodles are breaking up now. But what we want to do is we want these noodles to suck all that lovely juice up. And we also want that sauce to reduce down a little bit because of the sugar in it, because it's got honey and it's got caster sugar in it. You can see it's quite thin. And we want it to thicken up a little bit. So high heat, let it go. So probably, you can fast forward if you like, probably 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, intense heat. Prawns look good. Oh, you can see now, it's starting to caramelise in there, starting to thicken itself. So it's doing its magic. Come quiet again. What's wrong with you? Get hot. Another 30 seconds, they're going to be done. Perfect. I mean, they're okay to have it like that, but it's really a lot nicer if you just reduce it down a little bit. Just that sauce in there. As you can see, all those noodles now have started to suck up that sauce and they've changed colour. And that's when you're going to get maximum flavour out of your dish. And that lovely sauce, look at that, look, all reduced down lovely. So that's perfect. Finish, job done. So if you wanted to, you could put some sesame seeds on here to garnish it with. Anything you fancy, but that's beautiful. That's just lovely as it is. Lots of lovely flavour. And again, really, really quick. 5 minutes to soak the noodles, 5 minutes to prep, 5 minutes cooked. Job done. Udon noodles, Yakisoba noodles.